What's up, guys? I don't know what to say other than holy shit. Jeffree Star has finally broke his silence on Saturday after being silent for nearly an entire month. There's a lot to cover, so let's get into it.
Exposed. Exposed. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Exposed, 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 exposed. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you.
Jeffree Star has been silent on social media for a long time now. After Tati posted her video last month, a lot of people, including myself, thought he was just leaving YouTube for good. In Tati's video, she pretty much said she let Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star manipulate her into making a video exposing James Charles. In Tati's video last year called Bye Sister, she talked about how James Charles has come to have a huge ego and was also chasing after straight guys. After Tati's Bye Sister video went viral, Jeffree Star decided to jump on Twitter and make some pretty serious allegations against James. Last year, it truly seemed like James' career was over, until he pulled the biggest Uno reverse card in beauty guru history. Now, in Tati's video she uploaded last month, she claims Jeffree and Shane kinda dropped her after James cleared his name and she was left to deal with all of the backlash alone, even though Tati feels like Jeffree and Shane were the ones to push her to do the video in the first place. Well, a lot can change in a year. Tati and James have spoken and they're now friends, and they even follow each other on social media. Although Tati didn't show any proof in her video that Shane and Jeffree pushed her to do the video, she did say her lawyers have all the proof they need and it's being handled legally. Ever since Tati posted that video, everyone's been waiting to hear Jeffree Star's response. Tati said she felt like Jeffree was going to expose everyone in the beauty community to get the attention off of him, so everyone's been anxiously waiting to see what would happen. Well, we finally have our answers.
Hello everybody, I have missed you so much. If you would please swipe up and watch my new video, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Jeffree Star posted a 10-minute video called Doing What's Right, so let's talk about it. Jeffree says he hasn't spoken up in a while because he wanted to self-reflect and didn't want to speak out of anger or emotions like he has in the past. He says normally he'd be quick to grab his phone and go on Snapchat and say whatever was on his mind in that moment. Last year, Jeffree posted a video titled Never Doing This Again and says he's sticking to that and won't be exposing anyone or showing any text messages or receipts. Just like Tati, he says this will be handled legally. I kind of feel like this was a very strategic move because in Tati's video she told everyone to be prepared because Jeffree would most likely expose anyone he had dirt on. A lot of influencers spoke up too and said we can't give Jeffree Star the power to hold information on people to keep them silent. I feel like Jeffree knew if he came out and tried to expose people, it wouldn't go down too well. Anyways, moving on, Jeffree goes on to say when you accept that you're the problem, you can be a part of the solution. He then says a lot of people want him to talk about the situation. By situation, he's referring to James Charles and Tati. He claims he didn't try to take anyone down and that he's not the villain. According to Jeffree, a lot of things said online are false in his eyes.
This is my real life, and a lot of things that are happening and being said are false. When someone else tries to take someone else down or their career and it doesn't work, you can't just take a few more down with you. That's not how life works.
But he didn't really get into details about what he thinks is false. He then goes on to say that we all have to take accountability for our own actions.
All take accountability for our own actions and no one else's. And that's what I will continue to do. And if I don't, please remind me.
I'm guessing that was a bit of a call out to Tati for saying Jeffree and Shane pushed her to do the video, although Tati did admit that she was the one at the end of the day who posted it and accepted her fault for that. Jeffree then says he should have called James Charles and asked him directly if what he was hearing behind the scenes was true or not. This kind of confused me because from Jeffree's tweets last year about James, it seemed like he was accusing James of being a predator because of things he's experienced firsthand. Then we have the apology. Jeffree apologized to James for, quote, the words that he said and his actions.
I would like to personally apologize to James Charles for the words that I've said and for my actions. If I was really close with someone, I should have had the ability to just simply call them and ask and say, hey, these were the things that were being said to me. Instead, I didn't. I let people really gas me up, get me going behind the scenes, and I really fell for a lot of things and I got caught up in the hype.
At the end of the day, that apology is for no one but James Charles to accept or not, but a lot of people feel like he's only apologizing because he has a makeup launch coming in August.
But what's coming next is one of my most exciting projects ever, and I can't wait. August is going to be very, exciting.
Now, here's where a lot of people, including myself, are taking a huge issue with this video. In the middle of the video, Jeffree switches from kinda talking about the drama to saying that people need to worry more about the Black Lives Matter movement rather than internet drama. People feel like he was using the Black Lives Matter movement as a way to deflect from what needed to be addressed and change the topic to something very serious that's going on in the world right now. One person on Twitter said, "Sorry, but Jeffree Star bringing up Black Lives Matter to yet again escape accountability is so disgusting. Black Lives Matter is not a prop for you to use in order to clear your record. It's an incredibly important movement and a message, and Jeffree is twisting it to his benefit." Finally, Jeffree addresses Shane Dawson. A lot of people have been speculating that Jeffree and Shane were no longer friends because Jeffree has been seen out on multiple occasions in the past month having fun while Shane was going through possibly the biggest scandal ever. In Jeffree's new video, he confirms that Shane is still one of his best friends but doesn't agree with his past actions.
He is genuine, amazing, he is selfless, and he is one of the most kind people that I've ever met in my entire world. I know that Shane would put his family and friends before himself in a flash. Now, did Shane and I get caught up in the drama and do some dumb shit? Of course we did, but that is my best friend, and I was actually truly shocked that people thought that I was going to distance myself from him or that my silence was anything but support.
To kind of close things off, he starts talking about his makeup brand. He says he's always created very inclusive products that cater to everyone. He goes on to say Jeffree Star Cosmetics will never slow down and announces that he has one of the most exciting launches ever coming in August. So overall, nothing specifically was addressed about the James Charles situation other than Jeffree apologizing to James, which kind of left me wondering if the voice note Jeffree talked about on the podcast with Keemstar even existed, or maybe it's not as bad as he made it out to be. At the time of recording this, Jeffree's video has over 70,000 dislikes, and I'm sure that number is just going to keep climbing. Jeffree also turned off the comments on his video within the first hour of it being uploaded. I asked you guys how you felt about Jeffree's response video, and it's very clear that a lot of you also didn't feel comfortable with Jeffree's mention of the Black Lives Matter movement. Here's what people had to say. I think his mention of the Black Lives Matter movement was more manipulation, trying to shame the viewer for holding him accountable during the current state of the world. We can do multiple things at once. Honestly, I never cringed so hard at a video in my life. Him trying to be serious in the beginning, then promoting his brand at the end like the first part of the video never even happened. It seems so scripted, but scatterbrained, like his lawyers wrote it last night. I really thought he was gonna set everything straight, but all he did was bounce back and forth, and using the Black Lives Matter movement as leverage without links to petitions, donations, etc. That infuriated me. I'm extremely disappointed in hearing the same words and no change. After Jeffree posted his video, James went on Twitter to tweet, "Hope everyone is having a beautiful Saturday." Overall, my opinion on the video isn't very good. I will admit in the first few minutes I was actually kind of shocked, and it started to feel like Jeffree was taking some sort of accountability for his behavior. When he recognized that he's very quick to jump on drama and would run his mouth and said he was taking some time to reflect on that, I was like, okay, maybe we're gonna get somewhere here. But very quickly the video went downhill for me. Jeffree mentions that he hasn't been on social media because he's been reflecting on his actions, but that isn't totally true because we know he's been liking pictures on Instagram and hanging out with influencers, kind of acting not bothered. I feel like if Jeffree stuck with the path he was taking in the first 2 minutes of the video, it would have been much better received, but then it started to feel like he was almost scolding us for wanting to hear his side of things because the Black Lives Matter movement is more important. I think we can all collectively agree that the Black Lives Matter movement is much more important, but we can speak about two things at the same time. Just because the world is hurting right now doesn't mean you get away with whatever you want and you can avoid criticism. I've been seeing a lot of people speculating that Jeffree hired a PR team to write a script for this video, but honestly, I don't know if I believe that. The last part of the video about the makeup launch just seems so bad and such wrong timing. I can't believe a PR agent would tell someone to include that.